Hi guys, I'm 13 here. It's raining and I'm on my scooter. I've had some people do requests for scooter videos. That's about. Whenever I ride my scooter, my dog's always along. Always. The only time I wouldn't bring her along is if I was going somewhere where she wasn't allowed in and I was going there for a long amount of time. Like if I was going to watch a movie and I'm riding my scooter to see it to the theater, I would still bring her because 2 hours isn't too long and she can wait at the scooter and she enjoys being outdoors. Anyways, totally off topic. The topic is actually a fairly... I had a guy, one of my subscribers, and I didn't really know anything about him. He hasn't... some of my subscribers I know because they comment on my videos a lot and I get used to their names. But, there's other subscribers that, like watch all my videos, watch my private series, and, they really are they really support me a lot, and I don't know who they are. And he kind of falls into that category because I didn't know who he was, and he sent me a couple of messages saying that he was coming to Taiwan for whatever reason, and could we hook up? And I said no, because I get a lot of people asking to meet me, believe it or not. Like, I wouldn't have thought that there'd be that many people in America coming to Taiwan on a regular basis, but believe it or not, there is. It's enough for me to have to say no all the time, because I get people asking, like, regularly. So he said, well, you do, like, private tours, though, right? Could I rent you, like, hire you for a day? And I'm like, yeah, it'll cost you, like, this much money, and then I'll take you out on the roads that we do and stuff. And he's like, okay, sounds good. So today comes, and as you can see, it's raining, and I'm like, well, the weather doesn't look that good, and I'm kind of tired because I'm taking care of my son by myself this whole week because my wife's father died, and she has to spend like the next 10 days with her brothers and sisters doing some kind of Asian funeral stuff, and blah blah blah. And he's like, oh well, I was looking forward to it, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, and I told him to call me in the morning, like the morning of this morning. I said, well, call me in the morning and we'll see. And instead of calling, he showed up. He called and said, okay, I'm in your city. I took the train here. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're going to have to wait another 45 minutes and I'll come get you. And I'm not trying to, shift blame, but yeah, I wasn't really up for it. But I wanted to do it too because, it's money. He was going to give me like, money to ride around on my scooter. Like, hello. So I was like, okay. And of course, meeting with a subscriber. So then I found out, so I meet with the guy and he's Asian, which is cool. I'm somewhat like reverse racist against Asians. I'm more fond of my Asian subscribers or whatnot. So I meet with the guy, and then I've explained this in another video already, but I guess you're going to be hearing a lot of stuff twice, because I'm either going to put that video first, or maybe I'll put that video after this, in which case I'll be repeating a lot of this, and I apologize for that in advance. So anyways, we go for a ride, we rent a scooter, and then we ride around the area a bit, and then, and then I give him tips, I give him advice, do this, don't do this, this scooter is different than a motorcycle like this, and then we start doing some swerving around like this, and I'm watching him in my mirror, and he's swerving. He's got a lot of confidence. He said himself he didn't feel nervous, he didn't feel scared. So I start picking up the pace a little bit. We're taking corners with a bit of a lean, and he's fine. He's not uncomfortable. He's keeping his line, and then once we make it to like, I just had a bug in my nose. I could feel something, and then I could actually see it, and I had to reach in and like kill it. So then once, and then, so we make it to the mountains after about 15-20 minutes of riding, and me keeping an eye on him and seeing his confidence levels and whatnot. I'm fairly good at that because I do a lot of tours and I get used to it. So we if anything, like. Anyways, so we get up to the mountains, and then we're literally riding in the mountains for less than 5 minutes. I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 4. And we go around a corner. It's a bit little bit of a wind. It's a kind of a big corner. It's like a high-speed kind of bend, like, you know, you can do about 60 miles per hour around it, but it's just like a bend, you know. It's not like a sharp turn or anything. And we're going around the bend at an okay speed. I'm not giving it, like, I'm not that stupid, but nonetheless, I do have responsibility because I was going quick. And yeah, he followed me in and just wiped out, and that's bad enough because I'm like, oh shit, you know, we just started and now we have a wipe out, and then it gets worse, and then it gets worse, and then it gets worse. It turns out his leg was broken in 2 places. It turns out he doesn't have insurance because even though he was born in Taiwan and he grew up in Taiwan up until about 15, he then moved to America when he was like 15 years old. So you know, like, there's a damage to the scooter, which is fairly extensive. I don't know how much that is yet. And then there's the fact that he doesn't have medical insurance. It's like, holy fuck. Oh, so, you know, and the guy is a nice guy. He's like talking to me. He's seen my private series. He supports me. It's just, and then I'm like, he's talking about his aunts and uncles that live here and how his aunt specifically told him not to do it because it's dangerous. She specifically, and then I'm like, well, what about your parents? And he's like, oh, both my parents are dead. And I'm like, you're 28 years old. Both your parents are dead. And he's like, yeah, my dad died when I was 21. He's like from cancer, and then like 2 years later, when he was like 23, his mom, Taiwanese, went back to Taiwan just to like visit family, just for like a vacation, and she died scuba diving. Like, shit, man. Can you imagine that you lose your father to like a slow, painful death to cancer, and then just like a year or 2 later, you get a phone call saying your mom died, even though she's perfectly healthy. So, you know, and his attitude is so amazing. Like, he's just like, he's not, you know, like I'd be angry and I'd be depressed, and he's just like, well, it's already happened, man. Don't worry about it. You know, nothing we can do about it now. It's just like, it's already happened. We just got to deal with it. Oh, it's only money, you know. I might not be able to afford it now. Like, I you know, he doesn't have enough money to pay for like everything. So he's like, well, you know, like I said, I'd pay for the damages to the scooter, and which you know, which you know sucks for me a bit. You know, like I'm doing this today. I spent the entire day away from my house while I'm tired because I could make a little bit of money, and then oh, guess what? You're out $1,000. So yeah. So that's the situation. We're just talking about the differences in prices. He lives in America, and he had a small surgery before, and it cost like, how much did that small surgery cost?
That was my wife, but it was like $20,000, and with insurance we ended up paying $2,000.
It was
originally
without insurance it would have cost how much?
Like $15,000 to $20,000.
15 to 20,000 American for like a small surgery.
Yep.
And then is the surgery bigger by comparison? Like more?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was 3 hour and I broke.
It was a 3 hour and they
I broke tibia and fibula, both of them, and dislocated my ankle. So, but I'm looking at the receipt right now. The surgery fee was like $300 American.
$300 American for broken fibula and tibula, and a dislocated foot that they had to put back in place.
Right, but altogether with everything, it's like 40,000 NT, which is like
1,300.
1,300.
Yeah, about $1,300, and that's including staying here for 3 nights and anesthesiologists and oh yeah, like 3 X-rays maybe.
Yeah, 3 X-ray and all that other stuff. Yeah.
So the same thing. Yeah, you have medical insurance in America, but your deductible is $2,000.
Probably. Yeah.
So you would have obviously gone over the deductible. So even in America with medical insurance, it would have cost almost double.
I'm just guessing, but I think this kind of surgery with all the other stuff together, it's probably cost $30,000 US.
Yeah.
I would think so.
So in America it costs $30,000. Overseas it cost $1,300. Yeah, that seems about fair.
Yeah. So I think when I take out the screws, I might come back to Taiwan and do it. It might be cheaper, even with the flying ticket.
Yeah.